Quantitative research and qualitative research actually represent two different ways of viewing the world, different ways of observing and using different criteria as to what you find relevant, scientific, what you find a good result of your research or not such a good result of your research. You can understand that with the different worldview comes a different approach to research, what we call a different methodology. I usually find a lot of confusion in student assignments and thesis using the concept methodology and the concept method. So I want to just clarify it quickly here that if you look at the word methodology, it obviously has in there the word from logos, the old Greek word that means the body of knowledge, and methodology is actually the body of knowledge of the different methods. This also comes from Greek words that mean a method is doing something with a road, with a systematic approach. Methodology in qualitative research is different from the methodology in quantitative research, and when you study this, you will find that even to the scientific language and the concepts used, they are very different. And so if you zoom into qualitative research, you must make sure that you don't fall in the trap of speaking in the terminology of actually quantitative research. This is not such an easy topic to quickly sum up, but I want to give you some pointers. I'm running here towards the end of the flip chart. I hope you can still see this. If we look on the quantitative side, the data that you are aiming for will have to be measurable and objective so that there is no dispute. The criterion is data must be in your experiments, in your research, in your testing of hypotheses. We're dealing with causal relations, must be replicable, must be reliable, and must give you valid results. To that extent, what quantitative research does is to isolate from what it wants to look at and compare, to isolate small measurable variables that are but an aspect of something bigger. You will find in your manual a few examples that make this more clear. But you can imagine here is the field of the statistician. It's measurable. I can show you how you did it. If I can show my hypothesis works and you replicate the same calculations, you will find the same results. Then we have something that we can say, this is solid research. We've made a point, we made a proof, we have evidence. This is totally different in qualitative research, because there you will not deal with variables that you can measure. You will deal with phenomena that are more vague and that you will be describing rather than measuring. And the better your description, the more detailed, the more you can explain in your description what your subjective take is, where you come from interpreting your information, and where your participants in activities come from. The better you can argue and describe, the more trustworthy the findings of your research will be. What you are after in qualitative research is to find meaning in what you are researching. What you must not look for is the measurability and the evidence of causal relationships. But what you can look for is when you start interpreting that there are obviously connections or potential links between different aspects of your research. Whereas here you have to have a good head for maths and stats, here in qualitative research you have to have a very open mind to document and state the case of your research very clearly, because the better you can argue your research and put it in context, the more scientific quality it will have. This is the abstract part. Please go address the manual for some examples that will make it more concrete to you. And Also, a moment of reflection yourself. What field of science are you actually studying in? If you are in engineering, it makes your way of thinking very different from when you are maybe studying human resources or sociology or philosophy or nursing. You may tend to think in a particular way already, and then if you zoom in on doing a qualitative piece of research, it is important to realize you may step out of your habit and you may have to start thinking out of the box and using your imagination more. I just want to round off this piece by something which I like very much that Einstein once said about these two ways of thinking. And he said, logical thinking is very good because logical, rational thinking will take you from A to B. But imaginative thinking, that will take you everywhere.